Welcome to Chi Baton Arts. Today I'm going to put on YouTube one of my favourite little exercises. It's from the Chi Baton system, which I put together. A Chi Baton is about 12.5 inches, and basically all it needs to be is a piece of broom handle chopped and rounded at the ends. And this helps you to keep your focus, although this exercise you can do without a baton if you don't have a baton. The problem then is that you've got to keep your hands exactly the same distance apart, and two hands have got to move exactly together. They don't, not one hand slightly in front of the other. So it's just easier if you use a baton. But in the past, if I haven't had a baton handy, I've just used a rolled up piece of newspaper or a bit of tubing, anything that helps to keep your hands in the right position. Now, when we're doing the Chi Baton work, the hand shape is important. Your hand is an extension of your arm, so your wrist isn't overly flexed. Thumbs at a 45-degree angle to your fingers. Your fingers are active, which means they're not tense and they're not floppy. The baton goes in the centre of that hand shape where a natural hollow is formed, and that activates the low button point in the centre of the palm. This exercise is one I enjoy because you can really feel it producing energy within the body. And it's based on a classic Qigong exercise called pushing mountains. So firstly we need to be in our correct posture. We're in bear stance, so your feet are roughly 2 fist distances apart and parallel, unless that creates tension in your knees when you would slightly take your feet out a little bit. Your pelvis is relaxed, so your lower back is just relaxed as if you were perching your bum on a swing. There's a space between your arms. Your sternum's lifted and then relaxed. Your shoulder blades sink down the back and are spread to the side, and your head floats up like a helium balloon. Throughout this movement you keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Okay, so the first part, we're going to do the movement in stages, although when you've learnt the exercise you can just do it as one movement. Okay, so the first thing we're going to learn is how to raise the arms properly. Normally when you lift your arms, you do this sort of movement, your shoulders lift, or you use the muscles on the top of the arm to lift it. What we're going to try and do is lift the arm, keeping what in Aikido they would call weight underside. So we're not going to try and use the muscles to lift the arm. What we're going to do is your shoulders roll back and down, and as your shoulder blades sink, it's that movement of the shoulder blades sinking that lift your arms. Now your arms are almost straight but not locked, so your shoulders will sink and your arms will float up, and I get to that position, my shoulder blades can't sink anymore, so that is my maximum position for the first part of the movement, and then you relax and it goes down. So let's just practice that, a few movements, so we get the feel of that properly. So as you do the movement, you will be breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, keeping the tongue on the roof of the mouth just behind your teeth. So, off we go. Nice and relaxed, nice hand shape. Breathe in, shoulders sink and the baton floats up. And breathe out, it slowly sinks down again. No tension, keeping those arms as relaxed as possible. Shoulders sink again, and the baton floats up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, they just float down again. See some of you smiling because you've already got that tingling feeling in your hands. Good, working. Off we go. Breathe in, shoulders sink, and those heavy arms just float up. And breathe out, they just sink down again. If you stay there for a moment or two, you should feel a nice tingling sensation in your hands as your body leads the Chi to the baton. The next part of the movement, it starts the same, so be careful to do this first part properly. Because you're doing the second bit, the temptation is to forget this and go straight into the second bit. must be done in this sequence to get the most benefit. So as you shoulder blades sink, the arms link to that sticking point, and then the elbows gently flex without stop, because I can see some of you moving your elbows back a little bit when you bend your elbows. You have this tendency to pull your elbows back when you bend them. Important in this exercise, we don't. So the shoulder blades come down, the hands float up. When you reach the sticking point, your elbows stay when they are. And now I find I get to that position, I can feel it's like, ooh, feel almost like a slight pulling in my stomach. And that's my second sticking point. Then I will straighten my arms without taking them back again and lower them. And again, we breathe in as we come up, breathe out as the arms come down. So off we go again. Breathe in, shoulders sink to the sticking point, and then the elbows flex, still breathing in. Then as we breathe out, the arms straighten slowly as if moving through treacle, and the baton sinks. And we'll do another 2 to practice. Shoulders sink down, the weight of the shoulders lifts the straight arms, and then the elbows flex, still breathing in. And breathe out, the arms straighten without moving the position of the elbows, and the whole arm sinks. And the final one, shoulder blades sink down. The weight of the shoulder blades sinking is lifting the straight arm, and then the elbow flexes as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, the arms straighten and we draw back. That's part 2. So I need to make sure that you can do part 1 and part 2 well before you do part 3. Okay, the full exercise. So this is the full exercise now. So what we're going to do is your shoulders will roll and sink your shoulder blades down. Then your elbows will flex. This is all on the in-breath. This time on the out-breath, you slide your baton forwards as you sink down a pole. Then as you breathe in, your elbows naturally bend. Then you straighten the arms, and then the arms sink on the out-breath. Okay. Now the reason we sit on your swing here is if we don't, and my arms lengthen, it'll tend to pull, the weight of my arms will pull my body weight forward. So we're trying to counteract that and keep the weight in the centre of the feet. Some exercises, you positively go forwards and backwards to create a pumping action, but not in this one. It's not necessary because your arms are drawing the energy up. So, let's try the whole thing. Nice and relaxed. So, breathe in, shoulders sink. Elbows flex as you breathe in through the nose. Breathe out, slide that baton forwards as you slide down the pole. Breathe in, your elbows sink. Breathe out, arms straighten, and then the whole arm sink down. Second one, breathe in, shoulders down, your arms float up. Elbows flex, still breathing in. Breathe out, slide forward, slide down the pole as your arms project forwards. Breathe in, relax those elbows to bring the baton back. Breathe out, straighten your arms and let the hands sink. Third one, shoulder blades down to lift the straight arms. Don't bend them yet until you've reached a sticking point. Bend the elbows. And now straighten the arms as you slide down that pole. Bend the elbows as you draw back, relax the elbows. And then the arms straighten. And when they're fully straight, the baton sinks. Fourth set, shoulders down. As your shoulders sink, the arms float up to reach the sticking point. The elbows flex. Breathe out. Push gently, push the baton forwards as you slide down your pole. Breathe in, relax your elbows. Breathe out, the arms straighten and they lower. And again, Breathe in, shoulders down, to lift the arms till they stick, and then the elbows flex. Breathe out, slide your arms forwards as you sink down the pole. Breathe in, straighten the legs slightly and bend the elbows. Breathe out, allow your hands just to sink. Now if you just relax in that position for a moment or two, feel the energy will build in your hands. It will almost feel painful in your hands. Also, if you take the baton out of one hand, it becomes even stronger, okay? Because the baton's distributing that energy out of the hands. Right. Okay, so that's it. Normally, you would, once you've learned the exercise thoroughly, you just go straight into just doing the third part, and you would do that 8 times, 8 to 12 times, nice and relaxed, and it's a good energy builder. Any questions? Just what I will say is, as we started to get towards the end of those movements, so be cautious of this. We started off those movements, it was all over the arms, nice and straight, and then the elbow bends, and it was all in a nice sequence. Towards the end, it was a bit, and the shoulders sink, the elbows are already bending. We've forgotten to keep them straight for the first bit, so try and discipline yourself to do the movement correctly, and then you will feel more benefit. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. If so, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.